Building a house is not easy. What I think it can be overwhelming for homeowners is you don't know which is the most important part. And my suggestion would be the part that you can't see, which is design, which is structure, the things you can't change later. So you can change the color of the kitchen later, but you cannot change what goes into your wall, into your structure. Whilst those are actually the fundamental part of your house that needs to be decided at the get-go.
There is still that real budget focus though. People don't want to spend an extra $5,000 or $2,000 or $1,000 on something they can't see or doesn't look really cool, can't show off. And I don't know how you solve that exactly. I mean, we deal with cutting back on things early on because they're choosing a cheaper option which isn't as good, and then they'll put in a $3,000 bath upstairs because everyone will see that maybe, I don't know. So there's a real education gap, I think, with how do we educate people that this is really important and you can change out your bath anytime or your shiny tap. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's expensive to rip out all your walls and beef up that insulation than it is to rip out a bath. And it is a bit tricky, I guess, to talk to people about those improvements that you can't see. Like all your walls just get covered up. You spend hours and days and weeks running pipes and all sorts of things throughout your house, and then a lot of spend on that too, and then you cover it all up. It's gone.
And if you trying to change your mind later on, it's not going to work. But you have to think about it before you do those things, and the design change. Once the windows are installed, and it's not just our windows, everything within the building frame and envelope, it's really hard to correct it later. If you 5 years down the line, oh, my windows are condensation, the windows, I wish I could have done more. It will be really hard. It's possible, but it's more costly to rectify later on. So think about it, how you talk to people that already live in super homes, go and visit some and experience it, and then think about it, what's important before at the design stage. Changing windows or improving the house, I think it's up to 80% more cost later on. It's a lot. You have to, sometimes it's not even possible. You're trying to flash it, the house, got the brick around it. You have to destroy some of the bricks. So you have to sort of sacrifice some of the things to actually make it work, but it will never be as good as it should be from the beginning.
I think New Zealanders are still a little bit trapped in trying to reduce that upfront cost as much as possible. And they're still thinking short term. So most New Zealanders are thinking around 7 years, and then they're looking to flip, sell the house and move on. We don't think like Europeans and other cultures do, where we might be in the same house for literally generations. If we started thinking that the home that we build is going to be our children's home and our grandchildren's home, then that would immediately change our approach to building. But most people are thinking about it as just an asset, just something to invest in and then flip. And when you're doing that, yeah, you're trying to reduce cost as much as possible. And the things that you choose to spend money on might be the flashy things that are going to appeal to a potential buyer, not so much the things that you can't see, like air tightness membranes or insulation.
That's the other thing though, it doesn't matter if you do a feature wall, because the next buyer can change it if they want to. They can't go back and change the insulation, not quickly anyway, without a lot of pain.
So with the Superhome certification guide and with the principles that Superhome push, generally speaking, you need to just look at that, all of those things up front, early on, If you're working with a designer that's familiar with the principles or with higher performance homes, then they'll be aware and they'll be pushing it early on. But if you're working with someone who hasn't done it before, then that's fine. We've got all the information's there, but you really just need to get it in and get it designed up front. It's a lot more difficult and a lot more costly to try and put a ventilation system in down the line if it hasn't been designed for it, whether it's ventilation or any of the fundamentals of the home. So yeah, specifically services though, get them designed in up front. We can help with that, giving clearances and sizes of things for your designer. But yeah, up front is critical.